All right. Welcome back to Tarqaron, everyone, and welcome to another monthly movie night, which hasn't
That's
been
right.
hasn't been monthly for a few months now, but hopefully we can get back on the wagon here. And that's
That's
where we
right.
alternate picking a movie each month. This time Alec picked the movie, so usually it's one of us has seen it, one of us hasn't, and that's what it is here. I've never seen this before. It's
That's right.
Whisper of the Heart.
Whisper of the Heart. This is a 1995 Studio Ghibli film, directed by I believe his name is Yoshifumi Kondo. He We'll get into a little bit more details about that as the review goes, but yeah, this is a movie that I first saw. I want to say maybe about 10 years ago or so, maybe been a little longer than that, but it was around then. I think it was around the time. Maybe not even quite 10 years ago, but I was going through all of the movies, all of the Studio Ghibli movies with my parents watching it. Um, yeah, this is one that's like because it's not Miyazaki or Takahata, it's like one of those one that kind of falls by the wayside in the conversation a lot of the time. Um, but yeah, I wanted to talk about it with Zach, show Zach it, and yeah, we'll kind of dive in here. But first things first, as we before we start our discussions, we always go in with a gut check, kind of to see how we're feeling before we begin our discussion in full. So,
So it's their score out of 10 going into it, and then
score
we'll
out of
do the
10 is the
review,
gut check.
and
That's
then
right.
we'll lock in our final scores. All
That's
right.
right. So I tried to sort of draw that city. See,
Wow.
that's one of my favorite
Very nice.
shots of the movie, and I drew a little cat there, of course.
Very nice. I
Yeah,
just drew the cat
it
face.
was terrible.
All right. 3, 2, 1, flip. 7.5.
Okay, okay, I'm a 9.
9. Yeah, I figured. I mean, most of the time I'm assuming it'll be around a 9 or so.
Yeah, yeah.
Damn it. I forgot. I erased the cat face. Yeah,
Race the cat face.
I definitely enjoyed
Yeah,
it. It's like, the pacing is a little slow, which is fine, but
yes,
I think yeah, I enjoyed it for sure. I like
yeah,
the it's a nice vibe, it's a sweet story. If you were to have
yeah.
me guess what song would be the central theming of the movie in a million tries, I wouldn't have guessed Take Me Home Country Road.
That's right. Isn't that
it
amazing?
was so
Um,
unexpected. I was like, okay, I heard it once. That's already like did not expect that, and then now it becomes a recurring thing. Like, no, I'm writing
right,
"Take Me Home" Country Road lyrics.
right, and yeah, because she's essentially because she's rewriting the lyrics. So there is another version, like the pop song of the in the end credits is like the final version of which is just called Country Road. Um, but yeah, this is like this is a magical movie, and it's fascinating that it's such a magical movie when very
Grounded,
it's
right?
extremely grounded. It is very
That
grounded.
was my takeaway. Is
Yes.
one of the most grounded Studio Ghibli films. You
Yeah.
know, like the only one other might be my neighbors, the Yamadas, might be
Yeah.
might take the cake,
Have
but
you have you seen Only Yesterday?
no.
That is more grounded than this, and
Okay.
that's a movie that I think I'm gonna save for another movie night because that's a movie I want to talk about a lot too.
Because the
Um,
whole time I was waiting,
but
like, when's the supernatural element gonna come? Because they show like there's gonna be a voice for the damn Baron, the Baron,
yeah,
and
Carrie
then
Elvis,
yeah,
Carrie Elvis himself.
and then not only that, I didn't even think about this at the time, but like you look at the movie poster, and you got the damn cat like floating alongside her. I'm like, what? When is this shoe gonna drop? Like, all right, we're an hour in, and there's no magical shit happening. I'm like, what's going on with this cat? This cat's gonna be something. Uh,
Hmm.
no, it's really just like imagination.
Yeah,
So
exactly. Yeah, it's a yeah. It was just funny because my one of my housemates who stayed up and watched it with me last night. he said the same thing. He was like, "And I was just waiting for that other shoe to drop, but then I realized that once she started writing the story that that's it. This is the magical part is
Yeah.
it's her imagination. It's all about her kind of and it's so the magic is the heartwarming tale that we go alongside of two people that kind of inspire each other to be better and do better.
Yeah.
Um and it's actually funny. There is for a fun fact for you Kingdom Hearts heads out there. There's actually a little crossover here because David Gallagher, who voices Riku as the main boy protagonist. I should have written names down. I always feel bad when I don't. And then the lead female protagonist is, I believe I can't remember which. I don't remember if she's Namine or Shion. I don't remember, but she's in Kingdom Hearts as well. So it's kind of cute that there's a little crossover there.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah, now that
but
we're
they're both
talking
amazing.
about it, I was thinking I watched La La Land last month and actually has some similarities to that. The kind of ideas in that movie, like minus the
Interesting.
musical element, but
Yeah.
it's and obviously it's like a young teen version,
Hmm.
but yeah, it's like this idea of inspiring each other to, or like a meaningful connection that inspires you to pursue what you really want to do. So that
Yeah.
yeah.
The thing that you love, your dream. It's like for her, it's to be a writer. You know, she's always kind of whisked away by adventures, by the books that she reads, and with him, it's the music. It's the craft as we learn, as we get to know him. It's the music that's crafting violins,
Mhm.
uh, and they each kind of inspire the other to do it, to go for their dreams. Um, and then come to a mature understanding of one another and of like we're not ready for the full thing yet. Obviously, we're still very young, but like we're still going to pursue it. We're going to go to school and we'll pursue it, and we'll still continue to encourage each other.
Yeah, it's like two
And
30 somethings talking to each other. It's
yeah, I
like
know.
it's very mature.
Theirs is very mature, yes. But yeah, I just there's so much like to me it's the slow pacing is like I love a good slow burn like that. It's there's just something about sitting in this like period of time because it's like mid 90s Japan, mid 90s Tokyo. So urbanization is kind of in full effect, and that's kind of the joke with the concrete roads
Yeah,
bit where it's
yeah.
like, yeah, it's like, oh, you're tearing down all of the the nature, but you're building concrete roads, and it's about all of this development, the urbanization of other parts of Tokyo, and um, there's so much like there's so much fantastic like storytelling in the just in terms of how the characters are interacting in the world, how they're going about their daily life, riding your bike up a steep hill. Um, her friend lives in like a nice home. She lives in like a house, like a separated apartment, but her family lives in an apartment, like a very cramped apartment, and uh, and then he of course lives at the top of the hill with it's like a gorgeous community up there. That's like the nicest house you ever done did see. Um,
Yeah.
and so you get like you get kind of the idea of like the various statuses that they all have as different people in society, but that's not really like reflected in any way of the none of them like look down upon one another in that regard. Um, there's just like all kinds of fantastic stuff like that. Getting food, eating food, getting food, making food. Ghibli's always had stuff like that in basically all of their movies. This is no exception. It does a wonderful job with that. Um,
Mhm.
chores, it's just like daily life. So it's like really school time crushes. Like confessing to your the person that you have a crush on.
The love triangle was crazy
Love
because
Triangle
it
was
wasn't
kind of wild.
only a love triangle. It was like there was a love triangle, and then she actually didn't even want a part of the triangle. You know,
Right.
it's like,
Well, and that's great too, because like um that builds into the whole theme of like it's sort of like this thing that's kind of you don't really think about until she basically tells him like I don't like I why me? It's that like I'm not worth it to you. Like and then you get the idea that like one of the reasons that she's running away from everything and just is that she doesn't feel that she's good enough for anything. She doesn't feel she's good enough. She just screws around and doesn't
mhm,
like is stuck in a rut basically in her life, and it's this uh it's kind of the sort of the first like really big sobering moment I guess of the movie, because you've got this whole all this goofy love nonsense going on, but then it's like, oh, this is like a real thing, and there's just like there's a lot of really raw kind of emotion in the movie that I think it just works. It's I can put myself back in the shoes of somebody living at that time, even though I was a guy living in New England in the 90s, and when I was at that age growing up in the mid 2000s. Um, but there's that kind of putting myself back in that period of time in my life. It's just there's something that's sort of universal about that feel that some of the feelings um and the just the general flow of that of how what it's like to be young and not confident in yourself, and but still have dreams and ambitions and ideas of what you want to do for your future. um yeah, I think that that to me is like connecting on the emotional level, and how that is sort of how it gives you space to sort of feel all that with all of the like lovely scenes of travel. Like that's some of the best stuff in the whole movie is just these gorgeous landscapes of urbanizing Tokyo. It's just so wonderful. Yeah. I so much more I could say about how much I love this movie. But yeah, it's that emotional through line that I think works really well. It's like a perfect synergy of the sort of lazy afternoons that you would spend as a kid, um, and kind of the how that all plays out. Of course, the movie it's kind of a laid back movie in at least through a decent portion of it.
mhm. And that shot with with Shizuku with the headphones on. Oh,
That is yes, that's where Lo-Fi Girl comes from.
yeah,
Almost
yeah. I
yeah,
was like, I know I've seen that. Like, okay, that's
mhm,
what that is.
yeah,
It's the lo-fi, so it is. It just encapsulates chill,
yeah,
the chill vibe.
yeah, big
So
time.
makes sense. Um, yeah, I liked it. Definitely captured that vibe well. I mean, Studio Ghibli in general does a really good job, of just like having a nice vibe most of the time. Beautiful shots and things to admire in the scenery and everything. No doubt here. Um,
Mm.
yeah. So the Carrie Elwes was the Baron, which is random because he's not
Because
there
he has like
much.
what, like 4 lines in the whole movie, right?
Yeah. And then I saw like Ashley Tisdale did a voice of
Oh, that must've been of her friend.
Yuko.
Yeah, Yuko, I think, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's who it was. So I was like, okay, those are the two names that really stood out as ones that I knew looking at that cast. But it was nice to like whisper the heart. I have no idea what that even meant until you see that that's what she's writing. And there's a lot of cool moments throughout, like discovering different elements of the dynamics you don't even know. I mean, it's funny because she pointed out like it would be my luck if that was Amasawa's son.
Yeah.
It can't be that boy. And of course, she thinks that she confirmed it wasn't, and then it is that boy. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it is.
And then the fact that um he just like was getting the books just to get her attention all along. That was interesting too.
Yeah.
I thought it was just going to be like, okay, they're connecting on this intellectual level, but it's like, no, I was just really trying to get your attention, so I had to go and get these
I
books before you.
yeah, that there's something so innocent and sweet about that also.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm just gonna check out the books. I'm just check out the books, just hoping you'll pay attention to me. It's just like, oh man, that's so cute. Um,
There's a lot of like profound romantic uh things in this for like such a young relationship too.
yeah,
I thought it was interesting that they were this that he was like, "Hey, would you just want to get married one day?" He just dropped that in there at the end too. It's like, whoa, okay,
yeah,
all right, right to it.
yeah, right, yeah,
And she's like, yeah. But
that
I
works.
love the exchange with the where he's like, "Is this corny?" And
Hmm.
she's like, "It is a little corny, but you're a violin maker. I'm the writer. That's the
Yeah,
good.
yeah,
That's
that
the
was
best."
that's pretty funny.
Because
Yeah,
it's like I was glad that it wasn't just like we could acknowledge it is a little corny, you know,
yeah.
and like he was saying the things about her having corny lyrics and stuff early on, so it's funny, and that was a nice little quote there, so it's cool.
I the general theme of like loss and wistful romantic longing is like pretty much another major through line of the whole thing, and a lot of it is it's great because it plays out in tons of different ways. Obviously, we have the very apparent main story of the two leads of that sort of wistful longing for each other, especially when they have to go their separate ways. He goes to Italy for 2 months to see if he has what it takes to be a violin maker. Um, and of course, her longing for him as she continues to look at that kind of woodcut carving of the violin maker in prison. And
Mm-hmm.
her, obviously has its own sort of connotations there. But then we have the story of that grandfather clock. There's a wistful longing. There's the story of Mr. Nishi himself. Which is basically the story of the Baron and Louise, is the story of him and his long lost love. Um, and seeing how all of that is resolved and how like everyone comes to sort of an understanding or a place of at rest with all of these different stories is that like for Nishi it's her story that gives almost helps give him like more closure on that story of that part of his life. um uh of course there's the very obvious, they end up together at the end. They ended up having the happy ending, but even in her story it seems we don't really get the specifics of the story, and I actually really like that. I like that we don't know everything that happens in it because it's the rough draft, right? And but we do get a sense that it's a very similar it's a struggle or it's an adventure that the Baron has to go on to do whatever it is he's doing. But it's fun because it's like he also is helping her self insert do something, which is also cute and fun, and like that's such a like an author thing to do, like one of your to put in your work, a self insert. It's like I don't want to say it's just a female trope because male writers do this all the time too. But I think it's known, I guess, in fan fiction circles that like women do that a lot, but men do it all the time too. So it's just it's a writer thing. I don't know what it I don't know what it is, but um but yeah, the sort of wistful longing, I think, is just it's such a it just works. I don't know, it just works together for the whole thing. Like it never feels that it's like beating you over the head with it. It's just like that's part of the quote unquote vibe of the movie. Um, and and yeah, and I mean, and really in and of itself, that's kind of what the song is even about too. Take Me Home, Country Road. Um, my
Yeah.
understanding is that John Denver was fairly popular in Japan, or at least that song was kind of a big hit in Japan.
Hmm.
I don't know if his version or if it was the Olivia Newton-John version that was the big hit, but my understanding is that that song is actually quite popular.
Hmm.
I don't know if it's fully to do with this movie or if it was already I assume it was already pretty popular there before this, but
Yeah, because what would inspire them to randomly take it here? I feel like there had to have been
yeah,
something in the air there.
yeah,
Mountain Mama. Always that's my
yeah,
favorite. Mountain
yeah,
Mama.
yeah. That's I love that too, Mountain Mama.
What's interesting is that we're focused on all these relationships of these young teens, and the
Mm.
parents naturally are like an afterthought to them. Essentially, like they're just like, I don't know what's going on. She's doing whatever. The dad's like, okay. He's kind of the stereotypical dad who's just like, okay, whatever.
He's a very Japanese dad.
Yeah.
It's kind of like distanced. He's got his own thing going on, and the parents are both like very they're very busy. They're extremely busy. She's like gone back to school. He's busy at the library. They're like computerizing stuff. It's the '90s, so it's like he's undergoing
But it's like she
that whole process there.
she doesn't want um Shizuku doesn't really like care to get into it that much with them. She's focused on her own world. So that's where
Yeah,
the story is revolved around, and she's just like, all right, I'll do what I gotta do real quick, but then I'm out of here, and they don't even know like half the time what I'm up to. So,
right.
so that's
That's
interesting.
yeah, and that's kind of like that independent spirit, which is like in the very collectivist culture that's something that's like that's sort of othered, that's sort of seen as like a negative thing. um so it's like with her, she's not doing her chores, she's not like helping out and being part of the family, so that's like that becomes towards the climax of the movie, that becomes like a serious thing. It's like you need to it's like we understand what you're doing, that's like these grades have to come up. Like you need to think about your future. You can do what it is you want to do, but like you do have to think more about how that reflects on your future and how that reflects on us. Um, and taking responsibility as a member of the family. So it's interesting. That yeah, I would agree that the whole thing is interesting, but it does speak to that sort of rebellious nature of it
Yeah,
is to be a 14, 15, and uh,
yeah.
not want to have to.
They want to do their own thing, and it plays to her like creative mind too. Like she doesn't want to be bothered with that kind of stuff. But
Right.
then at the end, she's like, "Oh, you know what? Maybe I should just finish high school, and then we can work on that." And then the boy comes to the Sugimura, right? Is that his name? Sugimura,
The Sugimura, is he the
the main boy, or no?
no, it's
That's the
no,
other
it's
guy.
yeah, Sugimura is the sports guy.
Seiji.
Seiji Yamasawa, yeah,
Seiji. He
comes back from Italy.
he comes back from Italy, and he's just like, yeah, you know what? Maybe I'll finish high school first. And he's like, yeah, I'm not great yet, but I could be. So let me finish high school, and then we'll do that. It's like, okay, cool. So we get to spend some more time together. Worked out.
Yeah,
But now
yeah.
that I think about it as well, this also has elements of Shop Around the Corner. I don't know if you've ever seen that. It's an old Jimmy Stewart
Oh,
movie. Um,
no.
but it's like it got the similar energy of a romance. That's like these two people with butt heads, and and they have this a similar energy. So I wouldn't be surprised if there was some inspiration there, where it's like the the lady has an admiration for this person because they connect on an intellectual level, but she doesn't know who the person is. Meanwhile, she's butting heads with the guy who is the person. So it's got a lot of overlap with how
Mm.
it is. And I really liked that movie. I watched that last year, so that's nice
That
too.
I mean, it makes for a fun the there's always some of like a bit of a frustration with people sometimes when it comes to will they won't they stories. I find them a lot of the time I find them quite fun because they're just
Yeah,
a lot of times they're just silly. It's when they go on too long that starts to get frustrating. But the thing about this kind of dynamic is a lot more fun because it's oh, I'm trying to think of like what exactly is the right phrasing of it, or the right sort of like trope name, I guess you could call it. But it's the unknown personality. And there's just something that's very fun about like the mystery, like the audience knowing, kind of knowing, but the characters
kind
just
of. Yeah,
just missing each other, and then coming to the understanding like as sort of the
and there's
resolution.
not
There's
too
just
much,
something
and
really
it's not too unpleasant. Sometimes they do these
right.
things where it's like, you ugly piece of shit, and then by the end of it, it's like,
Yes.
yeah, I actually loved you all along, right? And
Yeah.
it's like, well, you didn't need to go that hard.
Yeah. Enemies to lovers is a fun trope. That's a variant of that, but of
Yeah,
this. But
but
yeah, you
the
can you can go too far with
yeah,
it for sure.
but there was like
Um,
this little bit of banter where she was like, I mean, that is a trope in of itself. The like, it's the one guy I don't want it to be. Of
yeah,
course, that's who it ends up being. And
right.
but this one felt good. It felt more organic. Didn't feel too
Yeah.
forced. So I appreciated it.
Um, but I think a lot of that a lot of the sort of mutual understanding. It's funny because it's like the scene right before she immediately finds out is sort of the scene that is sort of the perfect encapsulation of why this movie is so magical, um, which is the the ultimate performance of the country road, where she sings it and his family all comes home and plays with them together,
The
and it's
spontaneous jam session on the
it's
country
uh
road.
it's yeah, it's so magical. Yeah, I get emotional talking about it. So it's a good
Yeah.
one.
All right. Well, yeah, I don't have anything glaringly that I don't
Mhm.
like about it. It is more so the fact that I do think the pacing is a little too slow for me. I appreciate what
It was
obviously the vibe it's going for. It's very aware that it is going for a slow pace, and
Yeah,
it's
it's kind of funny because I had to like go to the bathroom in the middle of while we're watching it. I paused it, and my housemate was like, "Oh my god, there's like a half hour left." And I was like,
yeah.
he was like,
It,
I was like, "Yeah, there's still plenty of movie to go here." He was like, "Man, I thought we were kind of wrapping up," and I was like, "Nope, nope, not yet."
Because I wrote an hour in, I was like, "Wow, this
Yeah,
first hour is like a slow burn," and then I was like,
yeah,
the end of the movie was like, okay, no, the whole movie was just a slow burn.
yeah.
It's never
It
like
is.
something crazy happens. It's like,
Yeah, it's never like it's not a quick paced movie, and it's interesting that like a lot of their other movies are kind of similar in a lot of ways too. Where like even something that's like has maybe a little bit more of a quicker pace, like Spirited Away, still kind of has like slow burn moments where it's just like it's just moments of just we're just going on a train ride now for like 5 minutes, and it's like okay,
yeah. I
so
mean, they always appreciate taking in the slower moments for sure. Kiki's
yeah.
Delivery Service is one where I also really love the vibe, but it also
Oh yeah,
isn't the most fast paced. But
yeah.
I
That one's a
do,
real. I think that's
in
a
terms
better
of
example.
vibe, like
Yeah,
that's pretty great, and that's
yeah,
got a lot of landscapes and stuff in the mix.
yeah,
But that's really where I'm at with it. So like I'm not at
Yeah.
that level of a 9, but I feel like I could grow to appreciate it more for sure on an additional watch.
Yeah, it's I mean, and this is just another one of those examples of like I like I mean, we know from Look Back, it was my favorite movie that came out a couple years ago. But I love movies about like uh artists and like artists that like challenge each other and sort of the suffering of the process, I guess, is
Yeah,
there's just something that I really love about that.
I like that
Um
too though.
there's just something that's just like I don't really know what it is, but there's just something that's like very like because I don't consider myself like the most artistic person. I have artistic sensibilities, I guess, but like there's uh I don't know, there's just something that's just like super there's just very human about it. And that makes it like personal and relatable, even if it's something that like I don't like I'm not a writer or and I'm not like a I don't make violins or whatever, I don't write manga, but like uh yeah, I just really like stories like this a lot. And for this to be the subject matter is just so interesting that like it's such a unusual well, they still have the fantastical elements involved here, but it's interesting seeing that the Ghibli was of course known for its like amazing fantasy, The Castle in the Sky, your Nausicaa and Porco Rosso, which did you catch
Yeah, I
that
saw
Porco
that.
Rosso? Yeah, that was a
Hmm.
fun. Um but this is so much more like a about just like people and in a at the time very modern setting. So um it's kind of cool seeing that in an animated like in an animated form like that. Mm, It's just super unique, and I think that's why I've always it's one of those ones that's it's an outlier. It stands out a lot. Only Yesterday, which of course we haven't seen, is another one that's like very. It's like this even more bizarre, like in terms of like how specific and unusual of subject matter it is.
Mm.
Um, but it's I like it. I like the fact that they have such a different mishmash of fantasy and then like drama, coming of age drama in the mix here. And the director was originally so he had been sort of being sort of hoisted up as being like the guy one of the leads to take over the studio after Takahata and Miyazaki both stopped making movies because even as early as this was talking about
Mm.
retiring.
Yeah.
He was like it like because like after Princess Mononoke, I think is when he said, I'm done. I'm retiring. And it's like then he made Spirited Away, and then he made Howl's Moving Castle, and then he's like, I'm good after Ponyo. And then he made two more, and then I'm good after The Wind Rises. I'll make another one. It's like, okay, so, and I think some of his coworkers would be like, he's a liar. He's never going to stop making movies. He's going to do it till he dies. This is just that's all he knows how to do. Um, but uh, so Kondo was intended to be kind of like the guy to sort of lead the charge of the next generation, but he unfortunately died. He had like a couple years after the movie came out, and he had an aortic dissection. So he unfortunately passed
Wow.
away. So we didn't get any other movies by him, and I think it's a real shame because there's something really special here. I think he kind of honed in on what to sort of focus on and what to kind of how to let you live in this world for the you know 2 hours that it goes on for.
Yeah,
So
for sure. I mean, I love movies that are focused on the arts too. Like La La Land is another one.
yeah,
Tick Tick Boom.
right. Take the big.
Anything that really touches on it. Because if you look at the story, like it doesn't work. Doesn't have the same magic to it. It was just like the boy wants to be a lawyer, and she wants to be she wants to be a doctor. It's like all right, and then you just like obviously the other stuff doesn't work, but even if it was just, this relationship playing out in that way, there's something special about these particular things to where it's like, or maybe we didn't fully connect on the intellectual level, but there is a mutual understanding and this
Mm,
connection we have and appreciation over these certain qualities,
right.
and the fact that she was inspired that quickly. And I mean, that's cool because there was literally just the push that she needed. That's
Right.
that's nice. It literally is like I gave myself a deadline to get something done in this time frame, and she's like, all right, couldn't stop writing. And yeah, finding something like that out at such a young age, that's great. You don't often get that, you know,
Yeah.
just like this amazing, passionate awakening for like what you want to do, you know.
Right.
And it
Yeah.
was boom, and then he wants to make violins, and he'll work on it. So
Right.
yeah. But I liked even through all that, I liked the little teenage love triangle drama too, because it's kind of funny how it just kept unraveling. It's like, you idiot! Why don't see why she she was offended by you saying that? And it's like, well, that's tough because I'm in love with you,
It's like,
actually. All
what?
right,
What?
no, that can't be. Uh, and then she had to see herself out of it and just kind of kept that to herself. All right, I'm gonna sit on this. Yep, he'll come around.
And during the end credits, you see them walk off together.
Yeah,
It's cute.
yeah. He's like, well, next best option. Shoot, I'm
Yeah, well,
I'm
second.
I'm young.
That's what you got to do. You figure out when you're young. You got to do that. Go through that process. But yeah, I also the cat, a little
Classic
moon.
cat. Yeah.
Love that cat. He's very cute. He
Yeah.
teases that dog.
I thought it was gonna be this whole thing with this cat. Like it was about to take you into this weird world, because I was waiting. It's like, what are we?
Yeah.
We're following this cat an awful long time. What's about to go down?
Yeah, yeah, but that's some of the inspiration for her story. And that's another thing too, is that a lot of the slow burn stuff, like the lingering shots of the hillside and everything like that, are all play into the sort of ideas that she has for this story that
Yeah.
she's writing. And obviously the Baron and the magical stuff in the that's cool. I love that statue too. That's just such a cool thing. It has like a defect in the eyes that make it look like that, but like, man, it looks so much cooler with that than it
Hmm.
would with normal eyes. So
Yeah.
yeah,
And that old guy Nishi was cool. He was cool too.
but he's great. He's great.
And I just liked the little friendship she had with Yuko too.
Mm,
Like they had a fun, actually, like non-toxic relationship. There wasn't like, it didn't end up being some whole jealousy thing. It was just kind of like, all right, well, I'm gonna just let that slide, and she doesn't need to know that
yeah,
he really wants me.
right.
You're the backup.
There's some nice, like, friendly, gentle prodding, that and teasing and stuff that goes on. Like, I can't believe you said that to him, and but it's like none of it is like malicious or held in contempt against them. It's very like, yeah,
Yeah,
it's just like a thing that things that young people do.
it's
So
true.
yeah.
Our final score.
Mm.
I erased my I erased my
I re-
picture, but
I erased mine too. Just
we're
I erased mine. I shouldn't have done that. I forgot.
still getting used to this process. Um, a new change to the meta of the board.
It is,
Having our
yeah.
drawing. All right. Final score: 3, 2, 1. Flip. 8.
9.
All right. I came up to an 8. You know what it was? It's like,
Hmm.
I was like, I gave Hoppers a 7.5. Come on, this is better than
Yes.
that. Because like the way the way I
Yeah,
talked about that movie versus this one is like I feel like
yeah,
there's a difference here. So
yeah,
that's the thing we score in so many things over the years. Though I
yeah.
could probably go
It's
back
true.
and be like, all
Be like, why
these
they
are
scored it that
off.
way? Yeah,
Now
yeah,
this is rated higher than things that probably would have rated higher.
yeah,
It is what it is, but
yeah,
it's a good movie.
yeah. Tarqaron score 8.5. Yeah, the also if you also didn't know this, there was a I don't know if it was like a direct to TV sort of spin-off of this called The Cat Returns.
I did see
And
that pop up on HBO Max
yes.
after.
So s-
Well, cause
s-
yeah, I was like, oh, is that I've seen that around, but is that related? And then I looked at
yeah,
the description. I was like, oh no, that's
it
not
is
related.
it is related in the sense that it's basically like a story about the Baron. It's like
Okay.
there's a girl in the real world, there's a girl called Haru, and I don't remember like the whole backstory, but basically she finds herself ending up in the world of the Baron, and she goes on an adventure
Hmm.
with him. It's fairly short. I think it's only about 70 minutes or so. But it's cute. I remember
But it's
having
another
thinking it
Studio
was
Ghibli movie, right?
pretty
Or
cute.
is it different?
It is. Yep. Yep. Studio Ghibli made it. They
Uh,
it was like a lower budget, but it's still. I remember still being pretty impressed by how good it looked because
the,
it was for a TV broadcast. I believe is
hmm.
what they made it
So I'm
for.
not sure. I
But
know I made a list of all the Ghibli movies I need to watch. I'm pretty sure it was on there, but I never knew it
yep.
was related. And then the description, like the names weren't matching up. Like I didn't see anything about
Yeah.
Baron, so I was like, oh, maybe it's just another cat that I wasn't aware of.
It came back. That
You know, I
returned.
was like, what is he returning from? The
Yeah.
cat returns, I guess. Yeah, I don't know.
Yep. And yeah, I think it's the one of the only ones that has like a direct spin-off from. It's like one of the only Ghibli films that has that. And I think it's only one of I think two films that were made for that were directly just for TV. The other one is Ocean, I believe it's called Ocean Waves, and I've never seen that.
Ocean
I've heard it's just
waves.
I've heard it's just kind of okay, but I haven't seen it. I think it's on HBO Max, so I should give it a watch.
HBO Max is good for that. The Ghibli
It
stuff.
does. It has I think it's very weird how they do this though, but they have all of the Japanese audio for all of them too. They're just a completely separate
Right.
film. I don't know why they do that. I'm a little confused about that, but
Yeah, I always default to the English,
yeah.
but you know, there you go.
Yeah. But this dub was really good. So
Studio Ghibli. So now the only ones we reviewed are the two that you brought forward. Is that correct?
I think so. Howl's Moving Castle
There's
and
that shirt right there.
that's right. This shirt right here. Represent.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Howl's Moving Castle and yeah, this Whisper of the Heart. So
Yeah, I have like, in my rotation of movies, I do have like a slot where I'm just like doing random Ghibli movies and I'm trying to work them in when I can. It's been a while since I'd watched one, so it's good. This is
yeah.
good to watch.
There yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think there's only like a handful that I haven't seen. Some of the more recent ones are actually most of them. Which I've heard varying degrees of about
Did you
like
see that one?
Earwig
I was about to say Earwig,
Earwig the Witch or whatever it's called,
the
Earwig and
3D
the
one.
Witch. Yeah, I saw a trailer for it and I was like, "Whoa!" Like, listen, 3D CG is kind of a long way in anime since 2016, but this came out in 2020 and it looks, yeah, oh boy,
Yeah,
it doesn't look good.
but it's like, all right, Ghibli, stay in your lane. All right, we
Yeah,
need
huh?
someone to stay in their lane. Can all be going to 3D again. And I think
Yeah,
they learned that.
yeah, I think they did because I don't think they've tried it since. The Boy and the Heron was very much like this is Studio Ghibli. It was back to normal.
Yeah, I had started that movie too, and I just never finished it because I was like, I started watching it, and then I had something come up.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
movie you gotta lock in for that movie. You really do. It's because it's like I feel like I honestly after I watch it, I was like, I feel like I need to watch it again because I'm
Mm.
going to get way more out of it if I watch it again. It's one of those kind of
Okay.
movies. So
There you go.
yeah,
Whisper of the Heart.
yeah,
Next month, it's my turn, and I
it
don't know what
is.
I'm
It's
gonna
Zach's
do,
turn.
but
I don't know what I'll do. Well, Zach, you watched
who
200
knows?
something movies last year, you
That's
know, so that's
insane.
you gotta find something in there, right?
A lot to pick from there.
Yeah.
All right.
But
Thank you for watching. Subscribe to the channel for more. I like the video. Leave a comment with your thoughts. In the meantime, I'm going to recommend a random Tarqaron video for you to watch next.
random rules, baby.
If you enjoyed this, why don't you watch Alec Ranks Zach's Favorite Things. That was a good one from a
Okay.
few years ago, back when we were doing the birthday videos.
Yeah.
And put together a
Maybe we'll
tier
bring
list of all my favorite things.
those back.
Birthday
Birthday
videos?
videos. Yeah.
The only
I've got
thing
an idea.
is because, well, yeah, we could. We could.
I was like, I have an idea for one. It was the other movie that I was thinking about watching. that
I know, but that's what I'm saying. That's
the
the thing.
option
Now,
has
now we
yeah,
have monthly movie night, so that kind
yeah,
of covers that lane.
yeah. It's true.
So I feel like it would have to be variety videos like that.
Mm.
Because now we should try to stick to monthly if we can, but we have a lot
I
of
think
things we're juggling
yeah,
right now, so
it's true.
it's
It's
been
true.
tough.
But the monthly movie is good. I've really been enjoying this. So
Yeah,
I'm glad we took a break on it for a little bit, just logistically, but I'm glad we're getting back to it. It's fun.
yeah, because our schedule is pretty crammed now, mostly due to the Halloween series always taking up a slot every week. Because
Yeah.
otherwise, if you free up a slot, then we could have been working with more. But but we've been trying to fit our monthly series in again now with the chance times and the comment corners and these. So
That's right.
stay tuned. More on the way. All
Stay
right.
tuned.
Yeah, take care, everybody.
All
Right.
right.